When you hear the word protein, what is the first thing that comes to mind? For the longest time, my own thoughts went immediately to eggs, meat, and fish. It was an automatic, unquestioned association built over a lifetime. But were you aware that a simple 100-gram serving of green peas contains over 5 grams of high-quality protein? Did you know that common vegetables like chickpeas, spinach, and broccoli are so rich in protein that they can rival an egg? When I first learned this, the discovery truly stunned me. Even for me, Dr. Robert Miller, a man who has practiced as an internal medicine specialist for over 60 years, this was a revelation. The shock was not merely about acquiring a new piece of trivia. It was a profound realization that forced me to reevaluate the dietary advice I had been giving my patients for decades. It compelled me to look at my own plate with new eyes. In the wake of this understanding, I changed my own diet. I broke the habit of relying solely on a morning egg for my protein. I started adding green peas and chickpeas to my rice. My dinner table began to fill with side dishes of spinach and broccoli. And it was after I made these simple changes that I began to feel a tangible shift in my own body. Protein is the single most important nutrient for the structural integrity of our bodies. As we grow older, our need for protein actually increases to maintain the health of our muscles and bones. Yet, so many older adults focus only on animal sources of protein, and even then, they often fail to consume enough due to digestive discomfort or a waning appetite. It is precisely at this juncture that the importance of vegetable-based protein shines most brightly. Vegetables are typically easier to digest and are rich in dietary fiber, which helps to alleviate common age-related issues like constipation. The idea that a simple vegetable can be a legitimate protein food, does that sound unbelievable to you? If it does, I invite you to stay with me through this discussion. It will be an opportunity to uncover the hidden power residing on your own dinner plate. How do you typically ensure you get enough protein? I want to tell you a story about my wife, Margaret, from when she was 72 years old. Over the preceding few years, her meals had become progressively simpler. A little rice, some pickles or kimchi, a small bowl of soup, and a single egg. That was often the entirety of her daily intake. "I just don't have an appetite," became her constant refrain. At the same time, her knees began to ache. Climbing the stairs left her breathless. One day, she even strained her back while doing something as simple as washing the dishes. At the time, we both believed this was just the inevitable process of aging. However, when we conducted a thorough medical examination, an unexpected cause was revealed: a zivara protein deficiency. She was consuming less than half of her recommended daily intake. My wife had never been fond of meat, and she found that even eggs were difficult for her to digest, so she rarely ate more than one a day. But she did love vegetables. From that day forward, I completely redesigned our dinner table. I stopped focusing only on eggs. I began preparing rice mixed with green peas. I made her creamy chickpea porridge. Our meals now featured braised tofu and side dishes of vegetables seasoned with perilla seeds. The change was astonishing. After about a month, my wife began to speak of it herself. "You know, my knees don't seem to hurt as much," she said one evening, "and climbing the stairs feels easier than it used to." Inexplicably, the pain in her knees was receding, and her energy was beginning to return. After 2 months, she started joining me to tend to our small home garden. By the 3rd month, she was once again confident enough to go out shopping on her own. Protein cannot be supplied by meat alone. In fact, for older adults, sourcing it from easily digestible vegetables may be the wiser path. This story starkly illustrates how quickly our bodies can weaken from a lack of protein, and conversely, how a small dietary change can trigger a profound recovery. Protein is not just in meat. It is abundant in vegetables. However, it is crucial to know which vegetables to eat and how to eat them. You must listen to this entire explanation to understand the full picture. It is frighteningly easy to fall into a state of protein deficiency without even realizing it. If this information proves helpful for your healthy life, my greatest reward is knowing it made a difference. How much vegetable protein have you incorporated into your own meals recently? 5 protein-rich vegetables and how to use them. Green peas. A handful of power. A 100-gram, serving about 3.5 ounces of green peas contains over 5 grams of protein. This is a quantity comparable to a large egg. But unlike an egg, green peas also provide a balanced profile of dietary fiber, vitamin K, folate, magnesium, and potassium, which work together to support muscle synthesis, improve blood circulation, and maintain bone health. The fiber in green peas acts as a prebiotic plus, feeding the beneficial bacteria in your gut. This helps to reduce constipation and bloating, and also moderates the rise in blood sugar after a meal. I recommended to a 72-year-old patient, Mrs. Eleanor Vance, that she make one simple change. Keep her portion of rice the same, but mix in a handful of green peas. If you stir frozen green peas into your rice just before you start the cooker, they will come out perfectly tender and sweet, with no off-putting smell. After just 1 month, Mrs. Vance reported that the chronic constipation she had suffered from for years had noticeably improved. She also said that the feeling of lethargy that used to overwhelm her in the afternoons, making her want to lie down, had significantly diminished. How to prepare. The preparation is simple. Take frozen green peas and blanch them for a minute in boiling water with a pinch of salt. Drain them and mix them into rice or a potato salad for a simple side dish. You can also blend them into a comforting soup or porridge. How to store. After blanching and draining, spread the peas in a single layer in a zip-top bag and freeze them flat. They will maintain their quality for up to 2 months. When buying fresh, look for pods that are firm and brightly colored. If using canned peas, I recommend rinsing them thoroughly to remove excess sodium. A note of caution. If you are not used to a high-fiber diet, increasing your intake of peas too quickly can cause gas. Start with less than a handful a day and gradually increase the amount over the course of a week. For those with gout, it's important to be mindful of intake during a flare-up of high uric acid levels and to drink plenty of water. Green peas pair wonderfully with a teaspoon of perilla oil, as the healthy fat helps the body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins. Chickpeas garbanzo beans. Small but mighty. A 100-gram serving of cooked chickpeas contains an impressive 9 grams of protein. Their amino acid profile is excellent, making them a very efficient source for muscle synthesis. They are also rich in potassium and magnesium, which help regulate blood pressure and support muscle relaxation. Furthermore, they contain a good amount of B vitamins, which are essential for the metabolism of the protein itself. Mr. David Chen, a 58-year-old patient, was suffering from such severe osteoarthritis that walking was difficult. His reduced activity was causing his muscles to atrophy, creating a vicious cycle of pain and weakness. I recommended that he try a simple, digestible porridge made from chickpeas. I instructed him to soak the dried beans overnight for at least 8 hours, then pressure cook them for 10 to 15 minutes until very soft. He would then blend them into a smooth porridge and eat 1 bowl every morning. After 4 weeks, he reported that the intensity of his pain had decreased. He had regained enough strength and stamina to begin taking a short 10-minute walk every afternoon. The key to chickpeas is preparation. Soaking the beans is crucial. Changing the water once during the soak can help reduce the compounds that cause gas. After boiling, you can gently rub the beans to remove their skins, which makes them even easier to digest. How to use. Chickpeas are incredibly versatile. Mix a handful into brown rice to boost its protein content. Add them to a salad with cucumber and tomatoes for a fulfilling lunch. Blending them with perilla seed paste, similar to tahini, to make a creamy porridge or hummus enhances both the flavor and the absorption of nutrients. A note of caution. If you are new to eating chickpeas, start with just a tablespoon a day and gradually work your way up to half a cup over a week. If you are prone to gas, adding a pinch of ground ginger to the dish can be helpful. For individuals with reduced kidney function, it's important to moderate the portion size to stay within your daily total protein allowance. Spinach, the bone health vegetable with a protein punch. A 100-gram serving of spinach contains approximately 2.9 grams of protein, While this number may seem lower than the others, the true strength of spinach lies in its comprehensive nutritional profile. Alongside its protein, it is packed with iron, folate, calcium, magnesium, and beta-carotene, providing simultaneous support for your blood, bones, and skin. With its high water content and soft texture, spinach is very easy on the stomach, making it an ideal food for seniors to consume without difficulty. Mrs. Grace Williams, a 75-year-old patient I was treating, came to me complaining of fatigue that made her feel heavy and weak, especially in the afternoons. She also noticed that she was bruising very easily from even minor bumps. When I reviewed her diet, I saw that she was eating very few vegetables and was relying almost exclusively on meat and eggs for her protein. I advised her to make a simple addition to her evening meal. Every night, she was to have either a small bowl of spinach miso soup or a side dish of blanched spinach. After 4 weeks, she reported that she was no longer bruising as easily, and the feeling of heaviness when she woke up in the morning had been replaced by a sense of lightness. The key to spinach is cooking method. To preserve its nutrients, the best way to cook spinach is to blanch it quickly. Drop it into boiling water with a pinch of salt for no more than 30 seconds. Then immediately plunge it into ice-cold water. This locks in the vibrant color and texture and minimizes the loss of vitamins and minerals. After blanching, squeeze out the excess water thoroughly. A simple and delicious side dish can be made by seasoning it with a bit of sesame oil, minced garlic, and a pinch of salt. While eating spinach raw preserves its vitamin C, I recommend that those who tend to feel cold or have a sensitive stomach should always cook it. Spinach pairs wonderfully with tofu or perilla seeds, creating a synergistic effect that boosts your intake of plant protein, calcium, and iron all at once. Adding perilla seeds, in particular, enhances the flavor and improves the absorption of the protein. When selecting spinach, look for leaves that are a deep green color and stems that are firm, not wilted. To store it, wrap the unwashed spinach in newspaper or a paper towel and refrigerate. It will stay fresh for about 3 days. Broccoli. For muscles and immunity, a 100-gram serving of broccoli contains about 8 grams of protein. Again, the quantity itself is modest, but it comes packaged with an incredible bonus. Broccoli contains more than twice the vitamin C of a lemon and is rich in a powerful antioxidant compound called sulforaphane. This compound is known to strengthen the immune system and reduce inflammation. For older adults who often struggle with respiratory ailments and fatigue, broccoli is an excellent food choice. It provides simultaneous support for muscle maintenance and immune system recovery. I advised an 81-year-old patient, Mr. Arthur Jones, to eat a handful of steamed broccoli 3 times a week. When cooking broccoli, the goal is to minimize nutrient loss. Steaming or boiling it for just 1 to 2 minutes in boiling water is ideal. Immediately rinsing it in cold water afterward will keep it crisp and vibrant green. Broccoli can be used in countless ways, from a simple side dish to stir-fries, soups, and salads. Lightly sautéing it with garlic and olive oil can actually increase the bioavailability of the sulforaphane. Combining it in a salad with chickpeas or tofu creates a perfectly balanced meal of protein, vitamins, and minerals. When choosing broccoli, look for heads with tightly packed, dark green florets. Avoid any that have started to turn yellow. To store, you can blanch, portion, and freeze it, and it will keep for over a month. A note for those with hypothyroidism: it is generally better to eat broccoli cooked rather than raw in large quantities. Tofu, the familiar. Can't forget protein. A 100-gram serving about 1/4 of a block of firm tofu contains approximately 10 grams of protein. Soy protein is a complete protein, meaning it contains all the essential amino acids our bodies need. It is also highly digestible and easy on the stomach. Furthermore, tofu is a rich source of calcium and magnesium for bone health, and its isoflavone content can be beneficial in managing menopausal symptoms. Mr. Frank Miller, an 80-year-old patient, was suffering from knee pain and significant age-related muscle loss sarcopenia. He began to include a serving of braised tofu or tofu miso soup with his lunch every day. After 2 months, he reported that his measured muscle mass had increased and his knee pain had subsided. How to prepare? From a traditional medicine perspective, tofu has a cooling nature, so it is often best to eat it cooked and warm. Dishes like tofu hot pots, pan-seared tofu steaks, or adding it to hot soups are excellent ways to consume it. Adding a little bit of healthy oil can help with the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. Firm tofu has a higher protein content and a satisfying heavy texture. Soft or silken tofu is easier to digest and is a great choice for seniors with chewing difficulties. When buying tofu, look for a block that has a smooth, elastic surface and a gentle, fresh soy aroma. To store it in the refrigerator, keep it submerged in water, changing the water daily. While tofu is excellent on its own, combining it with broccoli, spinach, or green peas creates a more diverse amino acid profile, which is even more beneficial for muscle synthesis and recovery. Those with high blood pressure should be mindful of salty seasonings, and those with kidney conditions should factor it into their total daily protein allowance. 3 essential keys to maximizing protein absorption. Simply eating these protein-rich vegetables is not enough. If your body cannot properly absorb the protein, it is of no use. Here are 3 critical factors that unlock the full potential of the protein you consume. Pair with healthy fats, especially perilla seeds. One of the most important factors determining protein absorption is fat. Healthy fats are necessary for the absorption of protein and for the transport of fat-soluble vitamins A.1, E, and K into your system. As people get older, they often become fat-averse, avoiding greasy foods. This can inadvertently lead to a decrease in nutrient absorption. This is where a healthy seed like perilla comes in. Perilla seeds contain protein themselves, but more importantly, they are rich in unsaturated fatty acids that play a crucial role in helping your body absorb the protein from other foods. For those worried about cholesterol or heart disease, the fat in perilla seeds is actually beneficial. The alpha-linolenic acid in perilla is an omega-3 fatty acid, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound that helps to protect the health of your blood vessels. Try adding just a spoonful of ground or whole perilla seeds to your everyday vegetable side dishes: blanched spinach, a broccoli salad, or seasoned bean sprouts. It will add a wonderful, nutty flavor that stimulates the appetite and, more importantly, will help your body make more effective use of the vegetable protein. Perilla seeds are calorie dense, so 1 to 2 tablespoons per day is a good amount. Store them in an airtight container to prevent the oils from oxidizing. Combine with B vitamin-rich foods. For protein to be converted into muscle tissue in your body, simple consumption is not enough. You need helpers, and the most important helpers in this process are the B vitamins. B vitamins are directly involved in protein metabolism. Their importance becomes even more critical in old age. As we get older, our metabolic function slows down, meaning the same amount of protein is converted into muscle at a slower rate than when we were young. B vitamins help to facilitate this crucial process. B vitamins are abundant in whole grains, spinach, broccoli, eggs, and nuts like almonds. Brown rice, in particular, contains far more B vitamins than white rice and pairs perfectly with vegetables. An ideal meal combination might look like this: a bowl of brown rice mixed with green peas, served with a side of blanched spinach and braised tofu. Add a side of fermented kimchi or a bowl of miso soup, and you have a meal that is perfectly balanced with protein, vitamins, probiotics, and minerals. Because B vitamins are water-soluble, they are not stored in the body and are quickly excreted. Therefore, it is important to include them in your diet consistently, every single day. Eat with fermented foods. For any nutrient to be well absorbed, your gut health must be in good condition. You can eat all the protein-rich vegetables in the world, but if your gut is unhealthy, those nutrients will pass right through you without being absorbed. After the age of 60, the lining of the gut can weaken, and the population of beneficial bacteria decreases, leading to a sharp decline in absorption capacity. This is where fermented foods become a powerful ally. Foods like miso, natto, kimchi, and pickled vegetables are rich in probiotics, beneficial bacteria and enzymes that improve the gut environment and aid in the breakdown and absorption of food. These probiotics are particularly effective at promoting protein digestion, increasing the bioavailability of the vegetable protein you eat. A meal of brown rice with chickpeas, served alongside a bowl of miso soup and a small dish of pickled vegetables, is an excellent example of a harmonious pairing of protein and fermented foods. Even those with weak digestion often find that this combination is satisfying and keeps them feeling full for a long time. Fermented foods also have anti-inflammatory effects, which can help prevent age-related conditions like arthritis and inflammatory bowel issues. Just be mindful of the high sodium content in some of these foods. Rinsing kimchi once in water can be a good way to reduce the salt. It's never too late to begin. Vegetables with more protein than an egg. At first, even I found it hard to believe. As an internal medicine specialist, I had spent decades emphasizing the importance of protein to my patients. But in my own mind, I was always thinking of meat and eggs. The fixed idea that vegetables were only for vitamins and fiber was deeply ingrained, but the changes I witnessed in my own body, and in my wife's body, completely shattered that old paradigm. When I realized how much protein was hidden in ordinary vegetables like green peas, chickpeas, spinach, broccoli, and tofu, I understood how many possibilities we had been overlooking. That change started at my own dinner table and blossomed into a new chapter of life for my wife. The woman who had struggled to climb the stairs because of knee pain now spends every morning in her garden, tending to her plants. She goes to the market by herself. Her smile and laughter returned. The person who used to complain daily of having no energy now finds joy in moving her body, in the simple tasks of managing her home. This was not just about nutrients. It was about reclaiming the will to live. It was then that I truly understood that protein is connected not just to our physical strength, but to our self-esteem. How? In what form? And when you eat protein is the cornerstone of health in our later years. As we age, our stomach acid decreases, or digestive enzyme diminish, and the efficiency with which we convert protein into muscle declines. You cannot eat the same way you did when you were young and expect the same results. This is where vegetables become our most valuable ally. They are easy on the digestive system and come packaged with fiber and antioxidants that help prevent chronic age-related diseases. Moreover, being plant-based, they can be consumed without any worry of cholesterol. So many people still believe that meat and eggs are the only sources of protein. Those with a poor appetite or weak digestion often give up on consuming enough protein altogether. But if you let that happen, you will reach a point where your physical strength is depleted, and recovery becomes incredibly difficult. You do not need to force yourself to eat meat. You can get enough protein from vegetables. But it is not enough to simply know this fact. You must put it into practice at your dinner table today. You don't need to start with something grand. A half cup of green peas in your rice, half a block of tofu in your miso soup, a handful of chickpeas in your salad, a tablespoon of perilla seeds on your blanched spinach. That is enough. That one small dish can completely transform your daily life a few months from now. It did for me, and it did for my wife. That small dietary change built muscle, protected our backs and knees, and allowed us to reclaim our vitality. I share this experience for one reason only: to let those who are walking the same path know that there is another way. Health in our later years does not have to be complex or difficult. The most important thing is the small, daily practice of turning intention into action. If you start now, it is absolutely not too late. Build a body that can absorb protein, and cultivate the habits that will protect that ability. What vegetable dish will you place on your dinner table tomorrow morning? What is the first dietary habit you want to change?